said, open your eyes. What if they said, it's time to rejoin the circle of life? This is where you wake up.
I have another assignment for you. Homework, eh? You will notice, especially during these times when people are frightened and nervous about this and that there's a tendency to be overly critical, to blame this person or that person. They did it, he did it, she did it. You've heard it all before, and unfortunately the history books are full of the outcome of such blaming. I want you to try and stand up for something. Not in every situation, not in every case, not every time. But when you feel an opening to say something, I want you to say, or it could be something else that we don't know and don't understand. It might not be them. It might be something working behind the scenes. People will say, what do you mean by that? And you could say, I've been thinking about this a lot lately, so do think about it. And my feeling is, then you say what your feeling is, but if you don't have anything specific, say, my feeling is that when people are frightened, as many of us are, and nervous, there's a tendency to dredge up old resentments against this group or that group. Now, we wouldn't say that this group or that group, whichever one is relevant to you, all right, is at fault because the sun set too soon, or that the sky turned from red to green, all right? We wouldn't say that because it's obviously something else, even though that might not ever happen. But there's a tendency, when we're frightened or nervous or both, to blame this group or that group just because our ancestors or mothers or fathers or those that preceded us farther back blamed them. But we have to look at history. What happened as a result? There was fights or battles, or worse yet, wars. And did we have a better world as a result? No. No, things got worse for everybody. Let's try to look for other causes, and let's make an effort to work together, even with people that we don't ordinarily feel good about. It's possible, you know, these days to do that, more than ever because of the internet. So that's what I recommend, you might say.
Question comes up for people who are somewhat afraid to speak up because they have families, they have positions in their community, in their society, and they don't want to rock the boat. So how can these people be encouraged to begin to speak up as well?
Thank you. Good question. One of the things you can do without giving an elaborate speech is you can simply say, I wonder if it's something else. You know, that's a very innocuous statement. But even if the people around you just go, oh, well, I don't think so, and then go on with what they're saying and doing, you'd be surprised how many people will take that, I wonder if it's something else, away from that conversation and think about it. Ultimately, your job is not to provide answers. Your job is to stimulate questions. Did you know that? When you stimulate questions, you get people to move beyond the limits they've been operating in, even if, like you, They have situations that they need to maintain for the betterment of themselves and their families and their loved ones, their friends even. So if you say something innocuous that some people might think is just ignorance, and it's okay if they think that, all right? Don't be attached. Then you just say, I wonder if it's something else, when there's a pause. And you might have the opportunity to say that more than once. It's not really your job to fill in what the something else is. I think you can say that risk-free. Because the worst thing that can happen is that someone will think that you don't understand the wise and wonderful things that they're saying. All right? Which may be wise, but not always wonderful. So, I'm going to suggest then that you focus on stimulating people to think about things. That's a really good thing to try. All right? I'm not trying to give you something that you must do. I want you to think about it, put it into your own words, and consider saying it if and when it feels appropriate. Good life.